What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we preview the huge matchup between number 3 Michigan going on the road at number 10 Penn State. Gonna be going over the keys to the game for both teams, key players to look out for. We also got some injury updates for Michigan, and I also give my score prediction in this video. It's all gonna be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so it is the Big Ten showdown between the number 3 ranked Wolverines and number 10 Penn State, as Michigan goes on the road in Happy Valley with playoff implications on the line for both of these teams. Penn State needing to get a win to stay alive in the Big Ten East race. This game is going to be at noon on Fox. It is big noon kickoff. Coming into the game, Michigan obviously 9-0, Penn State 8-1 on the season. Only loss is to Ohio State, and right now Michigan is favored to win the game with the spread of 4.5. Is there 4.5 point favorites right now? Now we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Michigan, they've been dominant all season long. They obviously have, the sign stealing scandal going on right now, but they look to put that behind them, block out all that noise, just like they have the past 2 games. And just to show how dominant this Michigan team has been, they're the first team in the AP poll era to score 30 plus points and allow 10 points or less in each of its first 8 games, and they're the only team to win every single game by 20 plus points up to this point in the season. Now obviously Penn State, this is Michigan's toughest challenge up to this point, a top 10 road challenge. Penn State is also coming off of one of, if not the most impressive offensive outing for this team this season, as they put up 51 points and they looked a lot better compared to the game they had against Indiana and Ohio State. So let's go ahead and start with that. Penn State, they had 404 total yards in that game, 246 passing yards, 158 rushing yards. Drew Aller was 25 of 34 for 240 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and the receiving core had one of the best outings all season, as Keandre Lambert-Smith had 8 receptions for 95 yards. Dante Cephas had 6 receptions for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Tyler Warren had a touchdown, and Theo Johnson had a touchdown as well. So those are some key players to look out for as they're coming off big performances against Maryland. Yeah, Theo Johnson, the tight end. Tyler Warren, also a tight end for Penn State. Penn State also has wide receiver Amari Evans, but the 2 main wide receivers, Dante Cephas and especially Keandre Lambert-Smith. Keep an eye on those players, and if Penn State, if they want to win this game against Michigan, they're going to have to rely on those receivers to make some big plays for this offense. Penn State, they also have some good running backs out of Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. Allen coming off a 14 carry, 91 yard and 1 touchdown performance. Now Penn State putting up 51 points against Maryland, that is all nice and everything, but Maryland's defense is nothing compared to Michigan's defense. Also in that Maryland game, Penn State, they had a lot of plays where the receivers were making plays on crossing routes, on slants, and they picked up a lot of yardage on crossing routes. So that's something Michigan is going to have to stop against this Penn State offense. In Michigan, they usually do a very good job. They have a bend but don't break type of defense, and they have been dominant all season long. They especially have a lot of depth, especially on the defensive line. We also got news today for an injury update, as Zach Shaw on Twitter tweeted that Michigan defensive back coach Steve Clinkscale says that quarterback Josh Wallace is fine. He said it's football. Heck, I'm injured at this point. So he should be good to go against Penn State, as he was just going through a little injury last game as he came off the field in the second half, but he should be good to go. Now, I do expect this to be a defensive showdown. Both Penn State and Michigan's defense are phenomenal. In total defense, Michigan ranks 1, Penn State ranks 2, both only allowing 235 or less yards per game. Same thing goes with scoring defense. Michigan has the #1 scoring defense, only allowing an average of 6.6 points per game. Penn State, they rank 3rd, only allowing 11.8 points per game. So this game could very well be a defensive showdown. Although you look at Michigan's offense, they got everything you want out of an offense. They have been very balanced this season. They have a veteran quarterback out of J.J. McCarthy, who last game coming out with his best passing yardage output of the season with 335 passing yards. He hardly makes any mistakes ever. Also, last game against Purdue was kind of his only game where he was playing in the 4th quarter, so he has a chance to finally play the whole game this time. But he has his weapons like Roman Wilson coming off a 143 receiving yard game. They also have 2 tight ends out of Colston Loveland and AJ Barner. They have the senior wide receiver Cornelius Johnson, and also the freshman Samaj Morgan, who made a big impact in the Purdue game. I also wouldn't be surprised if Donovan Edwards was effective in the passing game as well. And speaking of Donovan Edwards, Michigan has Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Kalel Mullings. Their running back room is loaded. Blake Corum coming off of a 3-touchdown performance last game against Purdue. So this offense, they can do it all. And all season long, they have been able to do whatever they want against any defense up to this point. But they're going to have their hands filled with this Penn State defense. This Penn State defense is no joke. They have the #1 rushing defense, only allowing 60.3 rushing yards per game. They also rank #1 in turnover margin, as they have gained 20 turnovers, or forced 20 turnovers on defense, and they've only turned the ball over 4 times on offense. Michigan, on the other hand, they have forced 15 turnovers and only turned it over 6 times. Obviously, Michigan, they had 418 rushing yards last season against Penn State, so it should be interesting. But obviously Michigan this season, their offense, they have shown that they can pass the ball and run the ball this year, and it wasn't like last year going into this game where there was a question mark with the passing game. That is not the case this season. So some keys to this game. We'll first start with Penn State. Coming into this game, they have to rely on their impact players, and those are their receivers like Keandre Lambert-Smith and Dante Cephas, and also their rushing attack, Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. If they are able to establish the run, that will only open up the passing game. But also, a big thing this year that's been a problem with their offense is their ability to go vertical. They've had problems doing that. They've been a type of offense that is a horizontal type of offense. So they have to get the ball downfield, get chunk plays in this one against Michigan, especially against this Michigan defense. And, they did have some success last game against Maryland with a lot of crossing routes. A lot of big plays came out of those. And obviously for their defense, I would say if they can, get to J.J. McCarthy, get pressure on him, sack him, make him uncomfortable, also would be huge for them to force turnovers. But it's going to be hard against this very stout Michigan team. And for Michigan, on the other hand, it's simply don't make mistakes in this game. You are the better team. You've proved that this season with the eye test, and you just got to go out there and prove to everybody just exactly how good this team is, as this is their first top 10 matchup. I think Michigan, if they can get to Drew Aller, make him uncomfortable, they should be in the driver's seat to win this game. And I think they ultimately might just have to, blitz a lot in this game and make Drew Aller uncomfortable, because if you can force Aller to throw the ball and make him beat you, you're probably most likely going to have a better chance to win this game. So those are my keys to the game in this one. Let me know what you guys think, but it's a big matchup between Michigan and Penn State. On one side, for Penn State, you gotta stay alive in the Big Ten East race, and also you got to win this game if you want any chance to make the college football playoffs. Now, on the other hand, for Michigan, it's solely basically just shut all those haters up, block out the noise, and prove to everybody just how good this team is as they play their toughest matchup of the season against number 10 Penn State. But other than that, that is going to wrap up today's video. Let me know you guys' score predictions down below in the comment section and how you guys think this game will go. I think Michigan will win this one 31-14. But other than that, Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. Other than that, hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.